I know you personally now, but I really don't. And I'm so happy to be meeting. I'm so happy to be meeting you here.
Yeah,
Welcome. But first and foremost, I just wanted to say I hope you and your family are safe. Lebanon is in our thoughts right now. I'm holding Lebanon in my heart.
thank you.
I'd love to start. What did I miss? I mean, you're just an incredible person. I feel like I absolutely missed something in there.
Thank you. You know, I'm just a person who chose to live life with joy or still searching for joy, and that's it. That's how I describe it with everything I've done throughout my life for now, because there's much more to do. So really, like I never thought I'm gonna do all this. Like growing up in Lebanon, through also war. Unfortunately, now we are going through war also, but we've lived in many wars. Even myself, I lived in many wars. My parents literally all their life, literally, like, which is crazy if you think about it. But still, through that hardship or challenges or obstacles or whatever you want to describe them, you can still manage to make your dream reality. You can still manage to, not live life throughout the fear. That's how I describe myself. Really, like, okay, we can get into the mountaineer, and you know that I'm an architect, and I have a PhD in architecture from Italy, La Sapienza in Rome, which was also my dream, to get a scholarship and go live in Rome for like 9 years. And I got like a very competitive internship in LA at the Getty Conservation Institute, and I lived like 13 months exactly in Santa Monica.
Oh.
I don't mention that because it was in the years where there was no Instagram, like 2011. I even forgot about that, if I don't pull in my stuff. But really, these were formative years for me. So, in a way to create yourself. And I'm still, in creation, because it doesn't last, by the way. You do this, like really, you do it for, and that's what I learned. Not for the destination, but for the journey. We always hear it, but it's really when you live it through, that's how I lived it.
Oh, wow. And living with so much joy. I love that. Through it all, whatever life throws at you. Yeah.
It's not like I'm always living in the state of joy, but that's what I push myself in my habits every day, what I do, what I plan for, even through hard times. You don't think about the hard times and you put yourself in the victim square, like, okay, I'm the victim, help me. You can help yourself by every step you make forward. That's the idea.
I mean, I already feel so inspired, but I guess I wanted to ask you what inspired you to be an advocate for women and girls and children? You are really just such an amazing advocate, and I see it on your social media, but even in the way that you live your life, right? Fearlessly and aspiring to accomplish as much as you can, and having dreams and just going out and getting them. What inspired you to then be an advocate for women and girls? Where did that come from?
I mean, I have to say, I didn't plan to be an advocate for women, girls, and children. What happened is, when I was doing my 7 summits, and how I did my 7 summits, I was for sure for a while working at university, and then I decided to do my PhD. I got scholarship, so I was doing my PhD. So it was like like it wasn't like a straight line. It's like, I'm doing my 7 summits. Okay, how much it takes? Like $500,000. Okay, I have the $500,000. Let's do it. No, it wasn't like that. It was like knocking on doors, like, can you give me $5,000 to climb this mountain? I think I'm gonna become the first Lebanese woman to climb these mountains. And it started like that back in 2012, and slowly but surely I started gaining experience, and I started to be shown in the media. And when this happened, one student, his name is Henri, in Lebanon we speak French also. So, and he wrote me on Facebook Instagram was, I had maybe like 500 followers on Instagram or something like that. So he wrote me on Facebook through his mother for sure. He's like, you are my hero. And I was like, what? I just came back from Aconcagua or something. And they, like, I had 2, 3 articles in the Lebanese, news and the newspapers and on the TV and stuff like that. So, and I was like, what? I am a hero? How? Like, what is the connection? And he said, yeah, our teacher at school, she asked us to choose a hero, and you are my hero, and I want to, do a presentation about you. Can you send me a few pictures? Because I didn't even have the website or anything online, or just like, I don't know, trying to just to get the sponsors to sponsor me and not really knowing what I'm doing. And you know what I did? I sent Henri's mother the photos, but I also went to the presentation and with some, my gears and stuff like that. And I did the surprise for the kids. And what really made me I was like, oh my God, like this project has its, impact on the society, on my community. Because a little girl, she came because she got my big parka, and she was like with all, the Lebanese flag and all the sponsors and stuff. And she was like, she told me, I'm going to become the second Lebanese woman to climb the 7 summits.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. That sentence made me the advocate today, because from there I started, okay, my CSR is to just go to school and talk, and, it cost money, time, everything, but it was my investment that, brought the UN Women Headquarters to look into my work and say, okay, we recognize this woman for her work, because I really dig deep. And, you start one thing, somebody else calls you, and networking, and I love that. I love to network with the world. That's why we are connected now. So, yeah, and that's how my journey, and still going. Now I live in the UAE, in Dubai, with my family, and I do the same. I go to schools, and because everywhere we need inspiration, everywhere we need a generation that, put a dream, put a goal in front of her and go for it, not just, especially through sports. Sports is also very healthy for our body and mind. So that's it's a continuous work I'm doing.
Amazing. Wow. Well, I wanted to ask you a little bit about this amazing mountaineering journey that you've been on. And then I have 2 questions related to that. But the one is, what would you say is the biggest thing that you've learned from the mountains and from being on, the highest peak on each continent, whether it's something altitude taught you or the mountains or just being in nature? What was it?
Wow. That needs a book.
Yeah. Well, you should write one.
That's a book. Thank you. So literally, the mountains, as I always say, were my mentors. They taught me to be stronger. They taught me to be like this one, because I wasn't born like that. I was born into the fear. Like, when you are born in 84 in Lebanon during the Lebanese war, you just grab all the fear and you are scared from anything in your life and everything, just like it's literally like that, other than the traumas around you. But the mountains, and really it was with the first mountain I climbed, which is the highest in Lebanon, 10,000 feet only, back in 2007, sorry. And it took me literally like maybe a year to climb that mountain, because I don't know, I don't talk a lot about it on my Instagram, and I should, because I was born with hypermobility syndrome. So my joints are super flexible, especially my knees, which didn't let me, for example, when I was 8 years old, to run. I was just sitting on the sideline, like wondering why I cannot run, why my knees are hurting. And with time, when I was around 13, my brother George, who started his studying at university, physical education, he took me to the pool, and we started training at the pool and then at the gym using weight. So I started building my muscles, and okay. And then I had the chance when I was around 20 to go and hike for the first time. And I went back to George, and it's like, George, I cannot walk on uneven terrain. I am always, falling down. And he's like, okay, we need to work on your balance and coordination. And so we changed the plan. And so it has been a long journey for me, a long, long journey, until I found myself in 2007 on top of the highest, like on top of Lebanon, 10,000 feet. And literally the sense of achievement I felt that day, I knew inside of me, nobody can take it away. Like, that's it. That's what I want to do. So this was the first lesson I got from the mountains, the first message. And then this, passion, this joy that the mountain brought to my life, because that's where the fear started to turn into joy. I don't want to live my life through fear. I want to live it through joy. I want to, do what I love. I want to travel the world. I want to climb those mountains. And I started making them happen. Life, universe started bringing them to my life. And every mountain taught me something different, taught me about being a stronger woman, because, even when you think you are empowered, life throws something and it's like, oh my God, there's an unlearning I should go through, because this is how I learned I need to be as a girl, like the good girl, the very, you need to show strengths, because in Lebanon, for example, when you say this girl is strong, a strong girl, it's kind of it's how to say, it's like saying something bad about this girl. and so it was throughout the 7 summits, which took me 7 years, between my PhD and on and off, and the sponsorships and all the training and the stuff. I learned a lot. But with Everest, I would tell you, there was a very, very, very deep lesson, because it took me down to my deepest, darkest places, I had to fight with my own demons. After Everest, I climbed the top and back. And it's very tricky, because you go there, it's so nice, so good. I did my 7 summits. I am, I'm so like in a how to say, it's a like very orgasmic, literally. It's so beautiful that done. But then when you go down, you start searching for this feeling, and this is really bad, because and you start defining yourself as the Everest summiteer, and this grows into your ego, and it takes you to really, because I was far away from the why of why I'm climbing mountains. So this really taught me that I am not defined by the mountain. The mountain is one part of my journey, and it's beautiful and big and majestic, and it gave me a lot. But I'm Joyce, and I'm continuing the journey to much more and much different, and I will take the mountain with me everywhere. But so this is like, I am not the mountain, because you will be broken in pieces if you consider yourself, or you will be very hard, because when you become the mountain, you will be very strong and hard that nobody can, connect with you. So you become an island. So this was a very important learning I learned from after climbing Everest and the 7 summits, that changed also my life to the positive. But it took me like a while, like maybe a year and a half, to go. As also we got through COVID, because I climbed Everest in 2019. So it was a lot of layers, and then Lebanon economic crisis, the catastrophe we got through, and we lost all our money, and from day to another, like you lost all your money. So all this was also a lot to deal with, but also I dealt with defining. When you climb, it's very important to remember, like, you are not defined by this mountain. If you reach the summit or not, you learn from the mountain, you enjoy the mountain, and you bring the learning to the other people. Like you bring the pictures, right? Bring the learning from it.
No, that's so true. And wow, what a beautiful reminder and a beautiful way to think about mountains. Um, I'm not going to ask you to define how you where did you end up in that journey of defining yourself? And you know, if it's not the summits, how did you where did are you still on that journey? How did you take that path from? I'm really just curious about that. Yeah.
It's, as I said, you still create, and you create yourself, and you move through the challenges because they don't stop. You think you are okay, I'm on the top of the world, but okay, reality is you need to get back down and live reality. And it's known as the mountain blues, like the baby blues for the postpartum. So it is because you live big emotions and then you go down to the reality. But today, I'm still discovering myself. It's a long journey, and it was very good and eye opener for me that I am not defined by the mountain. This is very important. But now, like, I'm opening up to other experiences, to do other activities, to, like, to become a mother. That's also was helped me because I was kind of stuck in being the mountaineer and only the mountaineer. I didn't want back to teach anymore at university. I just wanted to be the mountaineer. And this, I went to a very, how to say, hard place. What, it wasn't soft anymore. So because the mountain has its own, how to say, it gives you this hard personality, if you just define yourself by the mountain. So I got back to my, balance between both. I love the boldness that the mountain gave me, the strength that it gave me, but also, I went through the other side of, I don't want to say just the feminine side, but yes, like the other side of the energy. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, I love that. That's so
Yeah.
beautiful. We talk a lot about, what energies do mountains have? Are they masculine? Are they feminine? How do we bring our feminine energy to the mountain? And it's very hard. As you say, mountains can be unshakable and hard and
Brutal
fixed and
and
brutal. And
you have to be very
yeah,
focused. There's not much room for flow. There's no room for error,
yeah,
which, it makes you just deep into that.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it requires it. It requires, the focus requires the strength, required the resilience. You kind of have to be a one-track mind. But what I love about what you do now, and I think in an era of social media, it can be hard to do what you were doing, which is not only exploring and continuing to explore and discover your identity beyond mountaineering. What is that?
Yeah.
But sharing every aspect of who you are, and I think with social media, we're so used to kind of this branding idea. Oh my gosh, I have to be one thing and one thing only. But the reality is we are all human, we are all three-dimensional, and we are all so holistic. We're so capable of doing and being a variety of things at one time.
Yeah, and I have a belief, and maybe not a lot of people would agree with me. I am much more out of the social media. I'm much less on the social media. And maybe I will be more, I don't know, but this is how I feel now. Like, I never over post on social media. I don't know. This is a decision that I like to be in connection with my community. I like to, like, this morning I woke up at 4. We went to erase Women's Epic. It's happening in UAE. I took my own company because I have now a company that I do training, mountaineering training and mountain training sessions and programs and assessment and fit. So I work on helping people to climb their mountain with joy. That's also another thing that I found that I can give back. But I always focus on how to give back to the community, not just to be sitting in front of my Instagram and posting. This is my own, really, with no judgment. And maybe after a year, you will see me posting much more. But if I feel there is a reason and, my being is happy with this post, I will put it out. If not, I will maybe not post for a month or two, which is crazy, for any brand. But I am who I am. I
We're
can't.
living, we are living right
Yeah.
outside of the square box. We're living. And so I
Yeah,
think that's so important too,
Yeah.
right? I love that you honor that.
One thing that I would love to reflect that I see in you and that I really admire is that you give women permission to be multifaceted, to not just be defined by one thing, to not just be the mountaineer, to not just be the mother, to not just be the businesswoman, to not just be in the soft, but you really embody this holistic idea that we get to be all of it.
Yeah.
Like we get
yes,
to be all the woman. And I love that permission that you give to not only other women, but little girls as well, right? That
yes.
you can do all of it and you don't have to, nor do you actually want to be defined by one thing.
Yes, yes, yes. And when I go to schools, I ask girls, not girls, boys and girls, draw your dream. Like, this is my dream. My dream was to do a PhD and as an architect, like I love buildings and stuff. And then to climb these mountains, and I show them pictures. And then you know what they do, which is crazy? They take a paper and they draw a line in the middle. This is one dream I have, and this is another. And this is so good because I am just showing them the possibility of having multi-dream. A lot of people think, I heard it before, you're crazy, you have for sure like a problem to show off to people, you have maybe, I don't know, yeah, like everyone. I don't even need to reply this stuff, but for me, I just like, I'm living what, like the moment. This is how I feel. I wanna, and I always connect it to the community. How? Because service is so fulfilling, and it gives you so much back. You don't even understand, to your life, to everything, to the environment around you, to your space. It's really, really, it's like the magic thing, you can have in your life. Service in any way you can. I'm not just saying like go. I don't know, like whatever you can. Even if you inspire one person in a year, that's service. Just think about how you can give back to your community.
Yeah, absolutely. I really love that. And, one thing that stands out when you talk about service and community is I loved when you said, that you're on top of Everest and you're sitting there and you're like, I am on top of the world. But you have to come down because you can literally not survive and live at the top of the world forever. But the first thing that you mentioned, you said when you come down, that's when you go back out into the community and show them what you learned. You teach them what you learned. And so
Yeah,
I love that you have also that you can go out and accomplish your biggest dreams, stand on top of the world and celebrate, but then take all of that back and spread it out.
yeah, yeah.
Like you're spreading the top of the world out to everybody, which
Everyone,
is really
everyone
beautiful.
gets a little piece
Everybody gets a piece
of
of the top of the
Everest,
world,
which is amazing.
when you
And
do.
you're top of the world. I'm sure when you reach the top of the world, you're gonna come back and teach me something about it.
Yeah.
Because that's the beauty of the mountain and what the mountain can offer us as teaching, because each person can reflect and learn something and change it. It's not gonna be like my learning. It's not gonna be like the person next to me who climbed the top of the mountain. And that translation is so beautiful because it can impact our society and community in different ways. And we need this inspiration. We need this. We need more of us. We need much more. It doesn't work with one person. It doesn't work with two. We need much more people who are getting out of their comfort zone and saying, I want to do this big thing that people think they're crazy. Because a lot of people, I remember I met, I don't know, in my traveling or studying, I was in Rome. It's like, one day I'm going to climb Everest. They look at me like, she's he has problems, especially like I'm sitting there, like wearing my high heels and things. It's like, you. And then they see me climbing Everest after 5, 6, 7 years, something like that. And they write me like, Oh my God, we met that party and you told us you're gonna go and you did it, girl. That's amazing. So these stuff, there we need this. We need this people who brings back the spark and not just like just work and then we need this. And that's I think what you are doing also through your project.
Well, I love that. Yeah, it's we really just I mean, if anybody who was watching has a big dream, right? My takeaway is you gotta go for it. Just gotta go for it. And the more we just honor those truths, like I think we all have them in our hearts.
Yeah.
It's a whisper. I think I want to do this thing that's huge and it seems kind of crazy and people might, and it's a whisper. And a lot of times we suppress it. We say, okay, maybe I'll do it later. Maybe I'll do it at some
Yeah.
point. No, grab
Yes.
that opportunity. That is my
Yeah.
big.
But I want to say one thing. This dream you should be very honest and genuine with yourself. Because if you are feeling jealous, and jealous is also a feeling that we feel, which is, part of us, or you are feeling that you want to do like them because they did well and they made $1 million or whatever, this is a wrong start, by the way. That's not the spark we are talking about. Like when you look into your heart and just like there's, as you said, there's this whisper like, oh, I don't know how. It's like, I can't do this, and everybody around is like, really? She's crazy. How are you gonna go to Antarctica? Like it's how many people travel to Antarctica? And I did it, and I got all this, the mountain sponsored by Lebanese companies. They made them believe in an athlete, women Lebanese, during hard times in Lebanon. So just telling you, anything is possible if you really believe in it. And I tried to do stuff after Everest, and that was the dark phase I lived, where they weren't really mine. It was more moving. It's like, now I'm an Everest summit, so I should do this and I should do that, and I should be, on that place and on that magazine, and then and this wasn't really, going in symphony with who I am, and I didn't do well in that part, So came back. It's like, okay, let's go back. How we always do things, we do it in an authentic and genuine way, and we work hard on them. We train, we take it seriously. I'm talking with myself right now.
No, and you're
talking to every woman, everybody out there, every human.
But this is how I talk to myself. Like, we are determined. We wake up at 5:30. We do our training. Before we go to sleep, we are training. Now I'm breastfeeding my baby. I can't do my training like this, but like usually that's how I was doing it. Like I have a plan, but how this plan was created from a very genuine and real dream that I have for Joyce. And I am not going looking, oh, he's doing this, oh, she's doing this. Some people can inspire us, but choose the dream that really you want to do, something that inspired you. And when you think about it, that's how I define what is my real dream. I feel so full of joy, not anxiety, like for sure, it was hard to get the sponsorship. It was hard to train. It was hard to climb the mountain. But I'm telling you, I was happy. I was like, I want to get it done. So, and this is the difference between when you are doing something and bringing you a lot of anxiety. Just rethink what you are doing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, you mentioned motherhood, and I know Steph is also a mother of two amazing boys, and I know this is something. Yeah, really. And
two teenage boys.
Teenage. Oh my God.
15 and 13. So enjoy the baby.
So much.
Oh, about to you.
What has that journey been like for you?
Yeah, if I look at your timetable, it looks like Everest, and then maybe like kind of how you define it as that dark period, and then pretty soon after you must have gotten pregnant, right?
Yes.
And so I'm curious how that adventure from like Everest, managing through that, and then all of a sudden now you enter the biggest adventure of your life, motherhood, and what that is like for you.
So, I mean, uh, I met my husband on Everest. He was part of the team.
Wow.
Didn't have any like like he was one of the team, and we didn't even talk a lot on Everest. But then we met again in Dubai after 2 years. Yeah, 2 years after, and we started like our relationship started, and like I was getting out of this dark period, and I was starting to do, it's like, okay, like what I really want, what, and the universe answered me with Marco. And I'm telling you, motherhood healed a lot of me. Like mountains did a different job, in the healing, but motherhood, oh my God, it's such a powerful experience that we women are really lucky to live. It's hard. We cannot say it's not hard. Especially how you decide to live it, and how you decide to, especially the first year of motherhood. But I was talking with my therapist the other day, and she told me, "Oh, now you are realizing that you are becoming a mother." And I was like, "What? What are you talking about? I gave birth to this baby 9 months ago." And she's like, "Yeah, but it's not like if you push a baby out, this means you became a mother right away. It's it's with time and experience and all the challenges." So I'm telling you, as I described it, the first months, it's harder than climbing Everest.
Mhm.
So you are more ready than me to climb any mountain. And I'm telling you, it's like I wasn't sleeping. Like sleep deprivation is crazy. The first few weeks, I decided to breastfeed naturally. Like I was like for a while pumping a little bit, but now I'm not. So I decided just to give my baby, as much as I can, as nature gave us, this, how to say this? It's not even, it's like a great gift to give it to our baby, the milk. And until he's strong and he can be, stronger, and then, I can stop. So this decision is very important, and it's a responsibility because, once you are in it, there is no sleep. There is, the need of the mother. So I need to be next to him all the time. Sorry, I'm getting all these details, but not a lot of people talk about it, and I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Before being a mother, I didn't know. Like, oh, this is so. Even with my sister, like, why you didn't tell me? You have two babies. Like, why you didn't tell me? It's like we don't go into these details. So there is something with motherhood that women don't go, and even like the giving birth itself, there's a lot of, a lot to unpack there. And I really needed the help of professional to go through it. Also, with finding myself in it, and because it can take you to like hard places, dark places. And I was like, no, this time, no, no. There's, Marco is in front of me, and I want to do the best here. So I got help, and, it's really much better. I'm going through it. I'm enjoying it. But the heart, as the mountain, like you enjoy the top, but you need to sleep in the tent, and sometimes you don't sleep the whole night, and a high altitude will hit you, and you will have a headache, and all this stuff. So, but it's really much more rewarding than Everest, all the seven summits, and anything else in this life. Really, like I look at my babies, like I love you more than life itself. So, like that's a really great gift, really beautiful gift.
That's so
Absolutely
beautiful.
beautiful.
Joyce, we could probably spend the whole day
I
chatting.
know. I know.
I mean, I'm so happy to have connected. It's really such a joy and such an honor to be able to connect with you and to have you on. And I think you are doing just amazing, amazing work. I have kind of one more question. It's a facet of you we haven't even really gotten into, but just one last question before we
Yeah.
we go off today. But this pillar of impact is safety. So we're dedicated to combating gender-based violence across 7 pillars of impact, and one of those pillars is safety. And you do incredible work as a Goodwill Ambassador of UN Women Lebanon. And I just wanted to ask you, what can people watching, what action can we take right now for women and children in Lebanon? Is there anything that you can share with us, or any action that anybody viewing right now can take?
Yeah, actually, today we were discussing, I was on a meeting with the UN Women team in Lebanon. There's a lot to do. Women are like 77% of the people who left their houses because of the bombing are women and children. And there is a disastrous situation. And we're gonna release, starting a campaign. I mean, I'm trying, actually tomorrow I need to work on that by Monday or Tuesday, because there is an urgency in that. And I cannot tell you now how you can help, but if you can just follow what we're gonna do, because it's not my decision. I work with the organization and I help to be their voice and to voice it out. So yeah, there are gonna be a lot to help with. There is a lot of campaigns that happen. They're helping, everyone. But our campaign is gonna be our work, and what we are creating. It's gonna be just for women and children, because they are the one who, because the men go to fight or to they stay sometimes in the houses, and the women leave with the children, and they are the only caretaker, and they need to find everything. The place to live, they need, and some people literally, not some, most of them, they left with nothing. Like they just have, if they could just take their document or nothing. So there is a lot of need, and now we are working, and safety is, like it's a very hard situation, especially on keeping women and children safe. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna do our best as UN Women Lebanon, and working with much more organizations on ground in Lebanon. So I will keep you posted on that. I will send you the links, and if you can share them, that would be amazing.
Yes, absolutely. We will amplify, we will share, and we will get involved however we can. That's amazing to hear about the efforts of UN Women Lebanon, and then also the coalition of organizations. I was reading, and it was a couple of days ago, so it's probably an outdated number, but 520,000 displaced women and children.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there's an urgent need.
Oh, there's
It's absolutely has gone up. It must be higher than that. So thank you for sharing, and please keep in touch, and we will absolutely amplify the work that UN Women Lebanon is doing on the ground.
Yeah, I will.
Thank you. Again, I said we could talk with you all day, but I know you have it's
Marco.
late in Dubai, and you have a baby to get back to. But so thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you so much for sharing this time with us. We really appreciate it, and we will keep in touch, and thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me part of this day, and good luck in everything. We stay in touch, and I'm here for anything you need.
Oh, appreciate you so
Thank you.
Deeply. Thank you so much
for sharing.
Take good care. Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Take care.